least the foreseeable future here, and that really changes a lot. They do have Stephen Byard, who's one of the top players in the area, but when we think of Atlantic City, typically you think, depth, defense. Last year was their first losing record in about 50 years. Where is this team as opposed to last year's team?
I think this year's team is several steps beyond last year's team. I mean, Gene Allen didn't have a ton of seniors on last year's team. He had a few, but for the most part, there were the kids taking their lumps last year that have now come back and sort of started handing out those lumps to some other teams this year. Atlantic City, a big opening night win over St. Joseph all the way back in December. After that, it was kind of tough sledding. This team lost 3, 4, 5 games in a row, but after that, Atlantic City went on a 9-10 game win streak. They just lost the other night to St. Augustine. Certainly no shame in that. That's always a very tough matchup. But this is a team that has some veteran guys, and you mentioned Stephen Byard. He's emerged really as a double-double machine in the middle. He can also step out and knock down the deep 2, even the 3. He's going to have a big game today for Atlantic City to win this, especially without the services of Naquan Blakely, and he'll need some help around him as well. But this is an Atlantic City team that's much improved from a year ago. Certainly a team that's can make a push not only in the Cape Atlantic League playoffs, but I think Gene Allen's hoping it's a team that can certainly make one of those classic pushes in the South Jersey Group 4 playoffs. Are they the favorite? Definitely not, but it's a team that can certainly give some other teams fits.
Now let's flip it over to Pleasantville. You and I had them against Wildwood Catholic, and they had Wildwood Catholic. They were in that game midway through the third, and then all of a sudden, Wildwood Catholic was just too much. They've had some interesting games this year. What is it going to take for Pleasantville to finally make one of those games where they're in it go their way? Because it seems like they have the talent to hang. What gets them over the top?
I think it starts in the middle with Elijah Jones. He's a junior that, as we talked about the last time we called that game together, that Wildwood Catholic Pleasantville game, he's a guy that's receiving a lot of attention from Division I schools. Tremendous athlete in the middle, and when he's on his game, Pleasantville is tough to beat. So I think it starts with Jones on the inside. Noel Gonzalez is a guy who can certainly fill it up from the outside. This is a different Pleasantville team, though, Mike, from even the last time we saw them. They have 2 seniors, Atlantic City transfers, which just adds another wrinkle to this rivalry. Issa Baker-Toombs and Sean Ali. Those guys just became eligible. They both played and started for Pleasantville, Butch Warner's team, the other night here on Friday night at the Battle by the Bay, and they led the way in that victory over Constitution High School out of PA. So should be an interesting matchup, no doubt.
Atlantic City and Pleasantville at the Battle by the Bay, a annual rivalry game. I mean, it's really turned into a staple on your Super Bowl Sunday. And by the way, if you're looking for a seat, don't bother. It is packed, sold out here at the Battle by the Bay. The only way, listen to it on 97.3 ESPN, the free mobile app, or use your smartphone, your tablet, or your smart TV and watch the live game. You can sit right in your living room and pop this game up on your big screen, as Mike and I will describe the best we can anyway, all the action here on 97.3 ESPN, and of course the free mobile app and the website. So it's Atlantic City and Pleasantville getting ready to go here. As we know, St. Joe was here the other day, a loser in that game. Wildwood Catholic, big story, they got beat pretty handily last night, so it has not been a great weekend for the Cape Atlantic League teams here at the Battle by the Bay.
Yeah, I was on hand for that Wildwood Catholic game last night, shooting some highlights for JerseySportsZone.com, and that was an eye-opener. I think Wildwood Catholic, just to kind of branch into that real quick, certainly one of the top teams in South Jersey in the state, but it just goes to show you, these are high school kids. You can't just run the ball out there and expect to win. You got to show up, and Seton Hall came down and really handed Wildwood Catholic a good old-fashioned butt whooping, if you will. So I think these two teams today will give us a good show, very evenly matched, and hoping for a good contest.
We'll have the game coming up next right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Later today, the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs square off in Super Bowl 54. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join me and the rest of our Westwood One crew from Miami for all the action. The Chiefs are in the big game. sports leader.
All right, Mike and Mike are back here. Mike Gill, Mike Franco, live in Atlantic City. Super Bowl Sunday, Battle by the Bay, the biggest invitational in the area. Every year, the top teams, it's spiked with great crowds, but none bigger than this one. It's Atlantic City, it's Pleasantville. Where else would you want? I left Miami for this, man.
I was going to say, welcome back. A little balmier down there, although, you know, it gets pretty balmy in here, too, when this gym fills up to capacity. A little warm in here, but yeah, probably not quite the same as South Beach for you today.
No, it's not. It looks like Gene Allen is getting some sort of plaque or something from Mayor Marty Small for his achievement of becoming the all-time wins leader at Atlantic City High School. He achieved that
just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, he became the all-time victory leader, as you said, and that was very much in doubt, Mike. You know, a lot of people will remember that at the start of last year, you know, Gene was basically asked to step down unceremoniously. Sort of the job was listed, and you know, Atlantic City, at least the Board of Education, was ready to move on. And obviously, Gene Allen has been a staple on that bench for a long, long time. You know, he guided these teams to the only 3 state championships in the history of the program, and he fought it, and for good reason. And he won. So here he is still on the bench, and obviously, you know, one of the most respected coaches, not only in South Jersey, but really in the state, and really in the Northeast, if you really want to boil it down that way. So well-deserved here to be honored by Marty Small as we get set for tip-off here. And of course, Gene, you ask him, you know, he would never want anything like this. But listen, you know, you affect so many of these kids' lives in a positive way. You certainly deserve the recognition.
Yeah, and the Mayor Marty Small, a player from Atlantic City High School, has a lot of pride in the program, is the one presenting this. He's reading off the achievements from Atlantic City for Gene Allen, and they are now embracing here at center court for the Battle by the Bay. His team behind him, he's holding up the plaque. And the Greyhounds will be introduced. Now, obviously, both these teams, as you mentioned, have some playoff thoughts here, but this is a pretty big game for the momentum. Atlantic City just lost the other night to snap their 12-game losing streak, and we go after this into really the stretch run before the Cal playoffs. How are they shaping up for both these teams?
Yeah, I think certainly, you know, we mentioned Pleasantville is under 500, but it's not so much about the record these days. It's about the power points, and the Greyhounds have certainly accumulated their fair share of power points, even in some of their losses so far this season. You know, a team like a Newark Eastside actually came down to play Pleasantville last week or the week before. You know, I think they've had some other tough matchups in Newark, Jersey. So, you know, I think both of these teams are kind of right on that bubble for a first-round home game. Pleasantville in Group 2, Atlantic City in Group 4, and you know, you have to crunch the numbers a little bit more in terms of if this game even affects that, because we're nearing the cutoff and there's also X number of games, and I think both teams have already reached that threshold. But, you know, if you go beyond sort of where these teams stack up in the playoffs, this in and of itself is a playoff game to a lot of these kids. And obviously, you know, there's no state championships handed out today, but years from now, this might be a little cliche, but it's true, you know, 10, 20 years down the road, some of the kids on the floor today might not remember what happened in the playoffs, but they're always going to remember if they won or lost this Super Bowl Sunday matchup at the Battle by the Bay. So in that sense, Mike, you know, this game, it sounds silly to say, but for a lot of these kids, a lot of these fans, a lot of these coaches, just as important, if not more, than maybe a state playoff game or a Cal playoff game.
Well, we know the place is packed, as we mentioned, sold out, not a place to sit. And you can join us for the call right here on 97.3 ESPN. Don't forget, live video. All you need to do is bring up your smartphone, your tablet, or your smart TV, and use 97.3ESPN.com and stream the video from our website over to your TV, and you can have a seat in your living room with us right here at the Battle by the Bay. Don't forget, Super Bowl coverage starts at 5 o'clock tonight on 97.3 ESPN. We'll get you ready for the Chiefs and the 49ers. A 7-0 in that game. 49ers 7, Chiefs 0, preferably would make my day.
That's your box, huh?
That's the one.
I'll root for that one. I think this might be the first year I did not partake in the box pool, but I may have thrown a few shekels down on the online betting services, so we'll see. Yeah, it's always fun, Mike. I mean, you know, it's so unique because Super Bowl Sunday statewide is pretty much a dead day for high school sports, but we don't think of it that way here in Greater Atlantic County. This is always the high school game before the NFL Super Bowl game.
Just after 2. And we are running here in Atlantic City. The Vikings get the tip and an easy layup to start things off for Chapman. Chapman, Byard, Pauls, Frederick, Jones, the 5 on the floor that start for Atlantic City. Baker, Toombs, Ali, McLaughlin, Rosado, and Jones for the Ville as it's scripted across their front wearing black with gray numerals. Moving left to right on your radio dial. Atlantic City dressed in white with blue trim. Dribble drive to the basket, shot up and strong. And the rebound comes down to Byard. Byard's outlet pass nearly stolen. And here comes Palms in transition. Behind the back, over to Byars. Byars at the foul line. It's short and rebounded. Put back by Palms. 4-0 AC.
Yeah, no doubt, Mike, both of these teams like to get up and down. They're going to both look to push the basketball at almost every opportunity.
Long off-balance three by Baker Toombs, and he got fouled, but that was way out from three. And he'll get to the line, though.
You know, we say it every year. How many years have you and I done this game together? But nerves are big. It's a big factor early in this game. This place is packed. There's thousands of people here. You know, a lot of times this is going to be the biggest crowd these kids will play in front of all year. And sometimes this play is a little bit sloppy because of that. And I think maybe that's a shot. And certainly, you know, Baker Toombs was bailed out because he got fouled. But maybe that's a shot that Coach Warner's not in love with under normal circumstances.
Pair of free throws go down for Baker Toombs. Issa Baker Toombs, a senior, AC transfer, and he'll get another one. AC leads 4-2. Make it 4-3. Pressure by Pleasantville to start things off the make. Byard brings up the ball for Atlantic City, gives up the dribble around half court, snaps a pass. Frederick, who's going to run some point now, with Blakely injured. Now they hand the ball off for Jones. We'll see who runs this point offense for Atlantic City and does a lot of their ball handling here without Blakely, who is really coming into his own.
Might be point by committee, really. You know, whomever in terms of guards is sort of at the top of the key when Atlantic City and Gene Allen specifically calls out the play.
Sean Ali whistled for a foul for Pleasantville on the perimeter. 6:46, 4-3 AC leads with the ball. Inbounding on the far sideline. Frederick dribbles the ball up across the timeline. Left-hand dribble, left of the lane, all the way. Right-hand shot, and a bucket. He's fouled, and he'll go to the line.
And that's a strong, confident take there from Jaheim Frederick, who's able to get it to go and one. And we talked about it, who else is going to step up without Blakely? You know, Byard's going to usually have his big game, but which other of these players is going to step up? And that was a confident early take there from Frederick.
2 quick fouls on Ali, another AC transfer. He's going to have to come out of the game. And the free throw is good for Frederick. Gonzalez, an early entry into the game for Noel.
It's almost like a sixth starter, really. I mean, he's a talented player. It's probably by design that Coach Warner brings him off of the bench. He's certainly capable of starting for a lot of teams around here.
We got a foul on AC. Jaheim Frederick with the foul on the trap. And Gene Allen says, let's back it up now. Looks like a half-court trap's getting set up here by the Vikings. They lead 7-3. Gonzalez crosses the timeline, playing catch with Toombs. Down baseline for Jones, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Greyhounds. 6:24 to play here in the first.
Another factor in these games usually, Mike, is fouls, and both teams already with 2 or less than 2 minutes in here in the first.
Gonzalez, left hand to the left of the lane, all the way to the basket, and he streaks it. He can't get it. Too strong, and the rebound comes down to the Vikings in transition. All the way, shoots up a right-hand runner, no good. The rebound put back is too strong. Snap down low, stolen away. Here goes Gonzalez in transition. Gonzalez all the way, the layup too strong. Jones tries for the foot back up, and he lost the handle. Here come the Vikings, 2-on-1. Back, Ollie, throw it down, Stephen Byard, what a dunk. Byard, 2 hands stuffed on the alley-oop, baseline, and foul. We got an offensive foul. A charge taken by Atlantic City, and the Vikings are pumped to start this thing out. And it looks like Coach Warner is going to call timeout. 5:46 to play. First quarter, AC 9. Pleasantville 3. It's 97-3 ESPN.
Need a sign? You need Captain Charlie. Captain Charlie uses Blue Water Graphics and Cape Signs to create signs for real estate and other businesses. They do construction site signs and window lettering for your business. They can also provide the lettering for your van, truck, car, or both. You can reach Blue Water Graphics at 609-823-8891 and Cape Signs at 856-506-0610. Banners, vehicles, windows, they can supply whatever lettering you need at Blue Water Graphics and Cape Signs. Today's game also brought to you with the best wishes of everyone at Calvi Electric in Atlantic City, who encourage you to get out and support your favorite high school team every week. Game also brought to you by Golden Corral. Are you hungry for a melt-in-your-mouth pot roast or meatloaf just like Mom used to make? And after the game, head on over to the EHT Golden Corral. They've got all of your home-style favorites, from fried chicken and mashed potatoes to oven-fresh yeast rolls and a chocolate wonderful that flows all day, every day. Plus, they have strip steak and shrimp on the menu weekends, with sirloin steak at dinner every day, and a customizable burger bar at lunch. You'll find it all at Golden Corral, 6725 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, right in front of Boscov's. Or let Golden Corral cater your next tailgate party. Call them at 609-272-8171 and experience Golden Corral catering today.
Fired off the inbound, gets it stolen away by Rosado. Rosado goes to the basket, blocked away. And AC back in transition. Their outlet pass is stolen away by Gonzalez, and Pleasantville looking to slow things down. They trail 9-3, 5:28 to play. Crossing the timeline, Toombs pulls up, left hand three is way strong. Rebound Jones, and Jones is fouled in the post. Looks like Baker is feeling the NBA three line today.
Yeah, he's confident. Give the kid credit. Again, he's one of those guys that just became eligible when the Atlantic City transfers. And Elijah Jones, a big offensive rebound to keep the possession alive for Pleasantville.
Pleasantville inbounds the ball. They trail by 6. 5:15 to play, first quarter. Crosses over, crosses back, hit down the paint, stolen away. Vikings in transition. Outlet and layup good. Frederick has 5. AC leads by 9.
Tremendous pass there, too, from Tariq Chapman as Pleasantville turns it right back over, but Chapman was able to thread the needle on the break.
Yeah, the inbound pass, Gonzalez just threw it right over his head, and Atlantic City will get the ball back. 5:02 to play. They lead 11-3. AC inbounds underneath their own basket. Trigger man Frederick. Here we go. Frederick right in the middle of the paint for Byard, and the baby jumper is good. Byard has 4. AC leads by 10.
Soft touch, too, in the middle from Byard. That's not a shot that a lot of these guys practice a lot, but he caught it and went right up in one motion, able to sink it.
Jaden Jones defending, clapping his hands, pumping the fist. Here he goes, looking for a 5, and he gets carry call because of the pressure.
Trouble time for the Greyhounds. The energy in this gym right now, all Atlantic City, as the Vikings have stormed out to a 10-point lead here.
AC 13, Pleasantville 3, 4:45. First quarter, all AC so far. We're jam-packed inside Atlantic City's Battle by the Bay gym. Here we go. AC with the ball. Frederick, Jones. Jones looking for some separation behind the back, spins, nearly stolen away, and it is. Here come the Greyhounds in transition, and a left-hand layup is good. McLaughlin, who can shoot it, gets a deuce on the strip.
And give Jules Sanchez the unofficial steal. You know, Muhammad came up with the basketball, McLaughlin, but great defense there from Sanchez.
Jones with the left wing catch. He gets it down to Byard, left of the lane. Now a pull-up for Byard. It is high, arcing off the rim. It goes out of bounds. It'll go back to Pleasantville. So Pleasantville trying to cut this momentum and withstand some blows here. They have the ball, trailing 13-5. 4 minutes to play in the first. A off-balance, wild shot by Toombs. And AC comes down with the board. Down the middle, cutting layup is too strong, but the layup and putback is good by Byard. He has 6, and it's back to a 10-point lead. Stolen away up the inbound. 3 ball up, too strong. Rebound long, comes down to Atlantic City. Byard, and a putback. Ooh, we got a whistle. Hard to hear in here, Mike.
This is going to be an adventure because we're situated, for those people listening on the radio, sort of right next to the Pleasantville bench. So we're kind of looking around some coaches, and you're right, it's so loud in here. We even courtside couldn't hear that whistle.
Yeah, it looked like the play was still live, and everybody was kind of acting. I don't know that the players can hear the whistle, but Mike, that's the second inbounds pass. It just was lazily just thrown out onto the court, and Atlantic City took it. They'll inbound the ball, getting some position, blocked away in the post. And the rebound comes down for Pleasantville. Jones gets it. They trail 15-5. 3 ball, thought about it. Cross court to Toombs. Toombs crosses over. at the right elbow. Now a fadeaway. Baker Toombs, and he's trying to prove something today. That's evident.
That's another wild shot, but, you know, give Issa Baker Toombs some credit. He's finally able to knock one of those down. He hit the 3 free throws earlier, but he's coming out running and gunning here today.
15-7, AC leads with the ball. They move right to left, wearing white. Left hand dribble drive all the way, blocked away. Almost by Jones, but just enough power to get it to go down.
Yeah, Nate Daly had to use his right hand. He went up to the rim on the left side, but he had to shield the defender. Nice use of the right.
Long three, McLaughlin, rebound, taken by Toombs. Now he dribbles 2 steps out for a 3, and that's too strong. McLaughlin kind of gets the rebound as he was falling down, and one hand just passed to Jones, but he missed it. Now a rebound, and a dunk attempt by Daly's too short, and Pleasantville comes with the rebound. Toombs for 3, too strong, and McLaughlin to Jones and a stop. So Pleasantville, after all that, Elijah Jones gets a bucket on a dunk, and it's 17-9. AC calls timeout.
It's known all over the Delaware Valley. Johnson's Popcorn on the Ocean City Boardwalk, specializing in their delicious caramel corn. You can get Johnson's Popcorn in individual servings and all the way up to 3.5-gallon tins. Look for them in your favorite food market or a party store. Johnson's Popcorn, 1368 Boardwalk in Ocean City. Call them at 1-800-842-2676 and have your popcorn shipped to you. They're also online at johnsonspopcorn.com. Johnson's Popcorn since 1940.
17-9. 2:30 left to go, first quarter.
These games are always wild. We talked about it off the top, but does it feel like to you this one is even just a little bit more wild this year in terms of some of the back and forth and some of the shots being thrown up right now? I think for Pleasantville, the Greyhounds have to seek some better shots. A lot of these shots are quite frankly, shots that NBA players would have trouble making.
A lot of fadeaways and just wild off-balance stuff. It seems that especially Toombs is trying to prove, like, hey, I transferred as AC. The layup attempt is missed by Chapman, and the rebound comes down to Pleasantville. They have a chance to make this a 4-point game. 5-point game, excuse me. Stone out of the perimeter, and the layup is too strong.
Yeah, we'll have to double check that number. I think there was some jerseys switching from Atlantic City because obviously that was the number that Blakely was wearing. And we'll get a double check on that. But missed opportunity there for Pleasantville.
Well, Blakely is in their book, apparently. He did not start the game.
Okay.
But apparently he's
Willis Reed-esque out the other night with a knee injury. Maybe we got some false information. Gene Allen slow playing us a little bit over here.
He makes the first one. Blakely into the game.
Credit the kid for giving him the go today. I mean, obviously too banged up to play the other night against St. Augustine, and going to give it a shot here today.
Couple changes. Lewis into the game for Atlantic City. Byard's going to take a seat. And Blakely at the line. Second free throw coming. And it's too strong. Rosado comes down with the rebound. Outlet pass to Jones. Jones hands it off for Toombs. Baker Toombs crosses the timeline. Left hand dribble behind the back. Between the circles, top of the key. Gives up the dribble. Tries to bounce the pass into Jones. And it's stolen away by the Vikings. Here comes AC. Dribble drive. Ball knocked out into the paint. And the layup is just thrown up by Palms. And it's good. He's got 4. It's 20-9 AC.
Sort of a sloppy break there from Atlantic City, but Palm's able to play cleanup man in the lane there and get the 2.
AC 20-9, they lead. Here comes Pleasantville with the ball, trying to inbound the basketball. Jones with the pressure now. Jones gets it in, stolen away. Oh, we got a foul. Lewis going to be called for the foul on AC.
A lot going on in this gym today, Mike Gill. A lot going on. I'm not sure what that previous whistle was for. It might have been some moisture around midcourt a couple of moments ago, but here we are off and running again.
Pleasantville inbounds the ball. They trail 29, 11-point AC lead, 1:22 left to go first quarter. Gonzalez bounce passes right through the hands and picked up by Toombs. It went through the hands of McLaughlin. Toombs ran it down, and then he connects on a three.
And that's another extremely difficult shot. I don't know if that was a fadeaway, but he was all the way out kind of near the sideline over there and guarded.
Blakely dribble drive, kick out. Snap pass for Daly. Daly puts it on the floor. Daly to the basket, and a nice lead on the block for Chad Lewis. And he hits a layup.
Nate Daly dropping the dime to his teammate down there.
Gonzalez trying to answer as he comes coast to coast down the center of the court, splitting the lane open, and he was fouled en route.
You just wonder if this pace is sustainable for Pleasantville. I mean, they do have the athletes to get up and down, but it seems like right now they're having a harder time staying in a game that's sort of a track meet end-to-end. Atlantic City, at least so far today, seemingly more comfortable in this style of game.
22-12, AC leads. 45 seconds left here in this up-and-down paced first quarter.
A little bit of a rocky start for Gonzalez off of the bench, too, missing the first free throw. He's a guy that, you know, we're certainly used to scoring 10, 15, 20 points.
His second free throw is good. Noel Gonzalez, 1 of 2 from the line. 9-point game. Final shot maybe for AC. Lewis, Daly gets it stolen away by Gonzalez. Toombs all the way, and he tried to jam it and then tried to lay it in midair, and he missed the layup, and it results in an AC outright by Quarren Palms and a layup.
Second time today we've seen a missed dunk. I mean, you know, it's just, you got to blame the atmosphere. These kids want to try to get these people out of their seats, but you know, they know if they can easily dunk or not. And if you can't, you know, you might not want to try to pull the trigger on something like that in a game of this magnitude.
It looked like he wanted to dunk it and then decided in midair, I got to lay this in, and then he kind of like got caught by the rim. It was just awkward.
We saw from an Atlantic City kid earlier, which was really, you know, nowhere near a dunk, got kind of stoned by the front of the rim. And you're right, that situation, you know, maybe got caught in between. But just take the easy two. Easy for us to say. It doesn't get the crowd as excited, but guess what? All counts the same on the scoreboard.
Gonzalez dribbles. 3 seconds, kick out, McLaughlin, 3 is way off, blocked away by Daly, and that's the way the first quarter ends here at the Battle by the Bay. AC 24, Pleasantville 13, you're listening to high school basketball coverage of the Battle by the Bay on 97.3 ESPN.
If you're planning a party and want to make it special, get It's a Rodeo, custom on-site catering involved. Rodeo Catering has provided a wide variety of food and drink to gatherings all over New Jersey, from birthday parties to wedding receptions to spectacular tailgating at major sporting events. When you plan your next event, your first call should be to John Rodeo at 609-839-6209. You set the date, they bring the party. It's a Rodeo, custom catering. You can email them at itsarodeo@gmail.com. Today's game also brought to you by Shoppies, which is even better online. You've probably visited their showroom at 1031 Shore Road in Linwood, but at Shoppy.com you can select and design your own trophy or award and order it right there. Shoppies also has a complete line of unique gifts. Remember, you are not presenting the finest trophy unless you are presenting a Shoppy trophy. Call them at 609-653-1684 for Shoppies since 1921.
Getting ready to start the second quarter.
We saw a little bit of everything in that first quarter, Mike. I mean, we talked about some of the missed kind of bunnies, the easy opportunities near the rim as these kids are just juiced up. I mean, you know, and it is hard to explain for those of our listeners and viewers out there that really haven't been inside in this atmosphere. I mean, it's just sort of this electricity in the air, and you know, these kids are all trying to make something special happen in front of so many of their, you know, family members and community members. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's 2 points all the same. So it's a couple missed opportunities for both teams so far.
The entry pass to Elijah Jones was knocked out of bounds by AC. Jones looked like he kind of, I don't want to say hyperextended, but if he ended up getting a hyperextension, that's what it would look like, because he came down kind of awkwardly. And the inbound pass is stolen away by AC. Back in transition, and Lewis with a layup.
Good recovery there from Chad Lewis. It almost looked like that ball was going to sort of bounce off of his hands and go out of bounds, but he was able to gather it and then go up on the opposite side of the rim and get two.
26-13, AC leads with Pleasantville has the ball. McLaughlin between the circles, stared down by Chapman. uses the screen, rolls, and it's stolen away. Intercepted by AC. The outlet pass. And we got Steps. Chapman. We get called for a travel. Baker Toombs returns. Rosado returns for Pleasantville. Jones going to take a seat. And Dontra Whitaker also.
You know, you wonder who might be able to stabilize things for Pleasantville. You know, it might be a kid like Rosado, a senior who's been in plenty of these big games before.
Gonzalez says, I'll do it myself, and he gets some separation near the basket and a little teardrop. 26-15, 11-point AC lead. They had the ball moving right to left, second quarter. 6:52 remaining and counting at the Battle by the Bay. Atlantic City leads Pleasantville. Byard down on the block, spins, baseline up, and just too much. Byard, 8 points. Gonzalez tries to answer, and he uses the body, and he's fouled. But Byard last year, he seemed like he was pretty green and just kind of leading a team that was trying to find their way. He's much more polished in now his senior year.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Mike. Yeah, last year, I mean, you know, you saw flashes of that, but he's got kind of, I like to call that old school game, right? I mean, he's just a very, you know, intelligent post player. On that particular play, he sort of gave the up and under fake move and then was able to free up some space inside. But, you know, more than that, he's able to step out and hit those jumpers too. And I think, you know, this Atlantic City team, not only today, but down the line here, Cal playoffs, state playoffs, this team will go as far as Byard can take it.
Yeah, he is certainly considered one of the top players in the area. And that's a big accomplishment for him because he was really an afterthought on that team last year that was really trying to find their way. And they got better as the year went on last year.
Yeah, no doubt. And he doesn't have great size. I mean, he's got good size, but he plays bigger than he is.
Steal. Stolen by McLaughlin. McLaughlin layup is good. So McLaughlin gets a steal and goes coast to coast. And McLaughlin's starting to get some offense going. He's got 4 for the Greyhounds. They trail by 9. 28-19. There's a trap. AC beats it. And Daly loses the handle down the middle of the lane. It'll stay with the Vikings.
You know, I noticed Naquan Blakely, who we didn't think would even play, is already kind of back on the bench, but now popping right back in. So it might be a situation where he's just kind of testing things a few minutes at a time to see if he can really stick around in this game and get some meaningful minutes.
As Blakely checks right back in. They get the inbounds pass. Stripped away into the hands of Palms, and he gets his shot blocked. Pleasantville trying to answer. We got a lot of contact and a foul as Jules Sanchez looks like he's going to get to the line. He's a little instant offense off the bench for them.
Yeah, just record yourself saying a lot of contact because we could play that back on almost every possession in this basketball game. And the officials letting a lot of stuff go, but you also have to call some stuff, and the fouls piling up. So far, 8 for Atlantic City. That's the 8th team foul, and already 5 for Pleasantville. So pretty close to both teams being in the bonus.
Sanchez makes the first one. I was driving here today. My girlfriend dropped me off, and I was trying to get here, and I told her, hey, make a right at the old Pleasantville High School. She didn't know where it was, didn't remember.
It's going back a little while, right?
The new school, man.
Yeah.
All these kids probably don't even remember the old place.
They probably don't know about it.
The old AC High School.
That's right. The old AC gym even a couple years ago, right? Some of these kids not privy to that. This is a beautiful remodel. And
did you ever do a game at the old place?
The old Pleasantville High School?
No, the old AC High.
No, that predates.
You would have been in school.
My broadcasting career.
The school was open in '95.
Yeah.
So. I didn't either. I played a game in there once. It was a place, man.
No doubt.
It was a scene.
A lot of history there.
Here at the new place, which has been redone, and a carry. That's Jules Sanchez putting up the defensive intensity.
Yeah, you remember a couple of years ago, there was an issue where, you know, sort of the roof crashed in and destroyed the court, so they had to redo the entire gym. Atlantic City played really its entire season on the road from that point. A lot of games at Stockton University, but beautiful in here now.
Drive to the lane, blocked away by Chapman. Here come the Vikings. No look pass, and a nice layup by Jaden Jones on the no look.
The breaks have been impressive for Atlantic City. You know, a lot of these passes aren't easy. There's some Pleasantville players back, whether it's 3-on-2, 2-on-1, but Atlantic City able to cash in on so many of these opportunities.
Gonzalez goes to the bucket and Byard blocks it away and then flashes the pipes.
That reminded me of a block last night. You know, Wyoming Catholic lost that game, but Taj Threet sent one into the second row. That block was almost as good.
So a timeout taken. 5:22 left to play here in the half. AC 30, Pleasantville 21. I'll tell you, Mike, it's only a 9-point game. It feels like AC has been in constant control of this game.
Yeah, you're right, but you know, you look up and it is just a 9-point game, and I think it's can be credited to kind of some sloppy play on both sides. Atlantic City, for the most part, has been cleaner with the basketball, you know, taking better shots, and that's certainly why the Vikings have a 9-point lead. But you know, we mentioned it off the top. I didn't anticipate, certainly personally, that this game was going to get away either way. I would have expected it to be close throughout. Pleasantville dug itself a hole early and now trying to dig out of that hole as we approach halftime.
Not sure who called that timeout.
I think it was Gene Allen, if I'm not mistaken.
After the block there.
Certainly saw something in his defense he didn't like there, wanted to talk it over, settle things a bit.
So 30-21, AC leads Pleasantville. 5:22, AC has led by as much as 11. Pleasantville has never led the game. Baker Toombs gets some separation and a three as he hits the deck.
You know,
the inbound.
I've never seen him in person. We didn't have a good scouting report because that's another incredibly difficult shot, but now he's hit a couple of those. That just must be his game. He likes that guy in his grill. He likes to shoot over him.
I'll tell you too, Mike, he's a lefty. So anytime you see a lefty, sometimes it's just awkward to see wildly shooting. He's kind of just free-flowing his arms all around and using it for separation.
I think there's no doubt, though, he has the green light for from head coach Butch Warner and the assistants over here.
Because he's taking some wild ones, and Warner hasn't said a word to him, like, oh, what are you doing?
But now he's starting to hit him.
Palms, baseline, shot, comes up, short, rebound. Palms gets his own, and now the rebound comes down to Jones, and he is fouled in the paint.
Good tenacity on the offensive glass there from Atlantic City. You know, they didn't have more numbers in Pleasantville, and the paint was pretty even down there, but just a situation where some of the Vikings players wanted that basketball a little bit more.
6-point game. Pleasantville cutting into this lead. Jaden Jones at the free throw line. Makes his first. He's got 3. Couple dribbles. Bends the knees and connects. 4 points, Jaden Jones. Pumps the lead back up to 8. Toombs, way downtown 3. It's off the back iron, but he's fouled. And boy, oh boy, I mean, he's at least 4 to 5 steps behind that 3-point line.
And that one, you know, you have to wonder, it might have gone down had he not been hacked on the arm there by Blakely. And just, you know, green light is doesn't even really describe what Issa Baker Toombs has right now on the offensive end for Pleasantville.
Yeah, and you talk about transferring from AC, and you're saying, man, this guy would really help out AC with his range, but that could have been the problem, is that Gene's not as willing to let you shoot that shot.
Yeah, that's a great point, and, you know, we fully don't really know the ins and outs of a situation like that, and, you know, I covered Atlantic City a couple times earlier in this season, and, you know, Baker Toombs, if he was with the team, certainly wasn't in the rotation then, so he might have transferred before the season, but yeah, I mean, you know, he's proven to be a deadly outside shooter, and some of the shots you kind of raise your eyebrows, but then some of them go in. You got to credit the kid. I mean, you know, certainly a playmaker out there.
12 points for Toombs here in the first half. Second shot is good. Third shot of 2 of 3 from the line. He's got 13 to lead all scores.
6-point game again.
32-26. AC with the ball. There's the trap. There's the steal. Pleasantville back in motion. Toombs kicks it into the corner for Sanchez. A baseline jumper for Sanchez is good. 32-28. 4-point game. All the way, cut to the hoop, too strong to layup, the putback is strong. The rebound comes out to Pleasantville. In transition, a layup, Sanchez is bit, and then Jones with a stuff. And it's a 2-point game with 4:06 to play in the half.
Give Elijah Jones a ton of credit for not giving up on that play. It was an open layup attempt from his teammate, but he followed up anyway, and he finished with the flush.
An answer for 3 for Jaden Jones. 35-30.
We said you'd be entertained. We got a good one cooking now.
Off the foot of Toombs, and it'll go back to Atlantic City. and man, this place is about to explode.
You know what's funny, anyone who's seen Gene Allen coach knows he's always halfway onto the court. When that ball rolled toward him, he was so far out on the court he couldn't get out of the way. He just had to sort of spread his feet and let the ball roll between his legs.
3 up and down it goes. Holmes, that one kind of rattled its way down, high off the ring. Toombs for 3, and he was fouled.
And again, it's Blakely committing that foul. It's such a quick trigger from Issa Baker-Toombs, and I think, you know, some of the fouling goes back to that left-handed shot, Mike. You're used to defending a player on the outside and maybe you can get away with jumping close to his left side, but he's going into a shot on that side, and that's now twice where if you're Atlantic City, you foul a three-point shot, not only a three-point shot.
Actually, it's his third time.
Yeah,
he started the game.
You're right. And sort of a wild attempt, too. So, I mean, that's a situation where if he pulls up and hits that shot, it is what it is. You have to let that beat you. You know, you guard as well as you can, but you certainly can't foul him out there.
Points 14 and 15 for Toombs as he steps to the line for the 3rd of 3. All 3 go down for Issa Baker-Toombs, and it's a 5-point game. 38-33, 3:27 left to play here in the half. AC with the ball. Here comes the pressure from Pleasantville. Snaps it up to Byard. Byard, baseball pass. Bounce pass down low. Jones' shot is blocked away by Rosado, who stands at the crowd and says, let's go.
Rosado could smell that one from a mile away. He had to hustle to get down to the baseline, but he knew exactly what he wanted to do with that ball, and that swatted into the back wall.
Byard catches the inbound top of the key. 3 ball in the corner for Chapman. Down it goes. 5 for Chapman, 41-33. Toombs crosses over, pull-up 3 is strong. Byard in transition, 3-on-1. Byard all the way, scoop shot, no good. Rebound, layup is too strong, but it goes off of Elijah Jones. It'll stay with the Vikings, but a 3-on-1 attempt is just missing. And now we got whistles, we got a player down. It looks like Byard underneath the basket for Atlantic City.
Yeah, this is bad news for Atlantic City. I hope he's okay and now being helped up by some players on both teams as he's trying to walk it off.
Looks like it's in the inner thigh area.
Yeah, he was, you know, it wasn't quite a fast break. There was a Pleasantville player with him, and I think Byard was trying to collect the basketball, sort of lost his balance as he tried to go up and threw up a wild shot and kind of went down in a heap as a result.
So Byard has to leave the game, and Chad Lewis is in. 2:54 left to play first half, excuse me. Sanchez crosses the timeline. Rosado gets it down for Jones. Jones on the block, uses the body, blocked away from the backside. Jones with the rebound, and he's fouled.
Just almost on a pogo stick down there, right? You can see some of the bounce that a player like Elijah Jones has, which is why he's drawing so much of that college recruiting interest. And, you know, in the scoring column, relatively quiet so far, 4 points, but a ton of rebounds so far. He's just kept a lot of possessions alive for Pleasantville so far this afternoon.
Free throw no good. Byard right back into the game. 41-33. AC leads. 2:43 left to play. Free throw is good. So Jones has 5 and a timeout taken by Pleasantville. They trail 41-34. High school basketball battle by the Bay. 97.3 ESPN.
Shore True Value Hardware in Summers Point hopes that you will continue to shop locally. They offer friendly service and expert advice. At Shore Hardware, they'll do anything to help. They're open weekdays until 7, Saturdays until 6, Sundays until 4. Help is just around the corner at Shore True Value Hardware, 515 New Road in Summers Point. Call them at 609-927-6464 or visit them online at shorehardware.com.
Coming up, we'll have coverage of Super Bowl 54, taking it to the kickoff tonight. Here it is, 41-34, Atlantic City leading Pleasantville. They'll inbound the ball. AC with it. Blakely into the game, brings it up for Atlantic City. Crosses the timeline, left-hand dribble at the foul line, gets it to Byard. Byard cuts down the lane and a little jumper in the middle of the paint for Stephen Byard.
Now a scramble, Atlantic City with the ball right back.
And the layup off the steal is good, and the tip back is good by Pons, and he's into double digits with 11.
Just like that, an 11-point lead again for AC, Mike.
Yeah, it was down to 4 to block as Byard blocks McLaughlin. Yeah, it was a 2-point game. It looked like Pleasantville was back in it, and it felt like the momentum was switching.
Elijah Jones, coincidentally, was on the bench for those 4 points. Now right back into the game to try to man the middle for the Greyhounds.
Gonzalez spins baseline, and he runs into Chapman. Jones gets the rebound and a putback for Elijah Jones, and he's got 7.
Gonzalez had hit the deck and was under all of those bodies jumping down on top of him. He had to cover his face because Elijah Jones was landing right on him.
Blakely. And it goes right through the hands of Byard. It was almost tipped away by Rosado, and him being in front of Byard, I think, caused Byard to flinch.
A couple of great hustle defensive plays for Alejandro Rosado. We saw the block a couple of moments ago, and then by diving from that ball, you know, he got a piece, but then it went off an Atlantic City player right after him.
Right wing, McLaughlin down in the paint for Jones. Jones with a fadeaway jumper in the middle of the paint. That goes up high off the back of the iron and then falls down, and Jones has 9. He's starting to heat up for Pleasantville. Blakely, no look pass, out into the corner. 3 ball up, it's strong. The rebound comes down to Pleasantville. Here they come in transition. Toombs crosses over middle of the paint.
Might be on pace for close to 100 points from each team so far today, Mike. Certainly Atlantic City has a chance to get to 50 by halftime.
Yeah, no doubt this game has had a pace that is entertaining to try to keep up with. Chapman, at the line is Baker Toombs, and he makes the first.
He's got 17 so far today, most of them coming from the free throw line.
6-point game. McLaughlin's going to come out. Jules Sanchez re-enters. And Baker Toombs has 18 now after the second free throw is good. 45-40, AC leads with the ball. 1:22 left to play in the half. Remember, an extended halftime here at the Battle by the Bay. Byard crosses over, paint, leaves it into the lane. Blocked away by Jones, rebound out by Gonzalez. Gonzalez in the corner. Sanchez thought about a 3. Now he uses the screen from Rosado. Pull up 3. Hits the front of the rim. No good. Byard with the rebound. Outlet pass for the layup is too strong. Byard tries to dunk it down and he misses. And the rebound comes down to Pleasantville. Here we go. Back and forth. Toombs 3. Hits the front rim. No good. Rebound. Jones. Jones puts it up. Gets it to go. 11 for Jones. 45-42, it's a 3-point game with 35 seconds left to go in the first half.
How about this pace? I'm glad halftime's coming up. I think we need a little break over here. What a tremendous first half.
On the wing for Daly, and it's stolen away. Baker Toombs, outlet to Gonzalez. Gonzalez leaves it for Jones. Jones layup too strong. Jones with the putback, and tip, no good. Out of bounds, Jones tried to save it, and he was too late, and it's going to go back to AC.
It's been so fast that, you know, these officials have done a nice job, but there was nobody on the baseline there, official-wise, to even figure out if that ball went out of bounds. I mean, these guys are scrambling around, trying to keep up with the players on the court. Like I said, been doing a nice job, but in that case, there was no official on the baseline.
And the layup is good by Byard right at the end of the half here. And it's 47-42, AC leads Pleasantville in a wild game so far in the first half. Back and forth, AC up by 11, Pleasantville cut it to 2, and we have a 5-point game at the half.
I don't know if this is going to make sense, but this game has felt great and sloppy at the same time. But at the end of the day, you look at the score, it's a 5-point game, so that's all that matters. I mean, we had some of the early nerves, we've had the fouls, we've had the turnovers, we've had the frenetic play, but 2 very evenly matched teams, that's what we thought it would be going in, and it's been certainly the money's worth for these fans so far and everyone listening and watching out there today.
We're at halftime here in Atlantic City. Battle by the Bay. And it's been wild. If you're in your car, get home, get the video on for the second half, stream it from your phone, tablet, your smart TV. You can watch it right in your living room before the Super Bowl today. If you're in your car, keep it locked. Mike and I will take you through the second half. It's a 15-minute cheerleader special here at the Battle by the Bay every single year, and that is kicking off now. So with that, we'll take a timeout. We'll get the stats tabulated in total thanks to Prime Events, and we'll be back with the second half right here on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. blistering shooting percentages. 35% for Pleasantville, 47% for Atlantic City. So it's not like both teams are shooting the lights out here.
Yeah, I think because the turnover numbers are down, only a combined 21 turnovers in this game. And again, people might hear that number and say, well, that's a fair amount of turnovers. Well, not for this game, it isn't. I mean, usually both of these teams have 20 turnovers by halftime. Like, you've seen box scores, I've seen box scores from this game where you'll have 35, 40 turnovers for one team in this game. But, for both these teams to combine for just 21 at the half, that's actually, kind of ahead of the curve. So the shooting percentages haven't been great, but the teams aren't turning the ball over a lot, so they're getting the shots up, and eventually they're falling.
11 turnovers for Pleasantville, 10 for Atlantic City, 21 total, as Mike mentioned. A lot of stats pretty close across the board, and the game is close. Pleasantville comes in 8-9, just a game under 500, and Atlantic City 13-4. They had a 12-game win streak snap on Friday night, and you don't see them lose twice in a row in this building too often. So that's what they're up against now. Pleasantville to try to overtake them for the win. We're about to start the third quarter. Mike Frankel will have a special Super Bowl edition of the Countdown to Kickoff show right after us. We will get it to the landmark Americana for the special Countdown to Kickoff show with Joe Kraus, John McMullen. It's Screwballs and King of Prussia. That's coming up right after us here on Battle by the Bay Sunday. As we start the live action, here we go. And we got a jump ball to start things off, and Pleasantville gets an early turnover.
And again, that's Alejandro Rosado, another hustle play. I mean, he's a guy that doesn't score a lot. He's got 0 points, but just affects the game in multiple different ways. That time was able to, draw that early tie-up and get the ball right back to the Ville.
Yeah, if you combined his box scores for the year, you would be wondering how many minutes a game he plays, but it's almost like you can't take him off the floor for this team, as a little pick and roll pass is a little too strong, McLaughlin and Rosado, and it's a turnover.
Yeah, he's that classic glue guy. I mean, even the great teams don't necessarily need 5 guys who are going to score 20 a night, right? You need those glue guys, and tremendous athlete, and as we talked about, just affects the game in other ways. And I hope we didn't jinx the whole turnover thing, because already we have one committed by Pleasantville on that end.
All right, Atlantic City with the ball, wearing white, moving left to right to start things off here in the third quarter. AC white with navy, Pleasantville all black gray numerals. The Vills scripted across the chest for Pleasantville. Vikings across the chest for Atlantic City. Inbound pass received by Frederick. Frederick, they face a 2-3 zone, it looks like, to start things off here in this third quarter. A little different look.
Yeah, definitely change of pace. Both teams going all man in that first half.
Byard, pump fake, gets Jones off his feet, and Byard puts down the bucket. He's got our first 2 of the second half.
That old school game, right? He's never in a hurry in the post. He just takes his time, and he knows exactly what he's doing. Every move is calculated, and he's always able to get a shot off.
Crosses over into the paint, ticks into the corner. Rosado 3, and it's too strong. Comes down, rebound to Byard. Byard's outlet stolen away. Toombs for 3, lefty, way off the mark. Rebound comes down for Atlantic City's Jones. Jones bounce pass into the corner. Thought about a 3, goes baseline, and a little floater's too strong. Elijah Jones with the rebound, outlets the pass, and it's tipped away by Atlantic City and run down by the Vikings. Here they come in transition. Jaden Jones, snap bounce pass. At the foul line, Byard up, and the layup's too strong. Rebound Rosado. Pleasantville moving right to left. Has the ball, trailing by 7. 2 minutes gone by, third quarter. Top of the key, between the legs, McLaughlin, and it's stripped away, but into the hands of Jones. Jones, now he loses the handle, it goes out of bounds. Pleasantville will keep it. So a very sloppy start to this third.
Yeah, especially for Pleasantville, still with those 42 points that the Greyhounds had at halftime. Haven't gotten a lot of good shots off so far.
Up and under shot, too strong. And Atlantic City has the ball. Jaden Jones leaves it off for Frederick as he crosses the timeline between the circles. Into the paint, stolen away Rosado. Ali, who had a foul trouble in the first half, leaves it, and it's knocked out of bounds by Atlantic City.
Jaden Jones had a chance to actually steal that ball away. Instead, he kind of swatted at it for Atlantic City. I mean, still does the job, but had a chance to really just kind of rip it out of the air.
Pleasantville inbounds, Rosado into the paint for Jones, and a Jones with a bucket. So 13 for Elijah Jones. Nice entry pass there by Rosado. 49-44, 5-point game. 5:13 to play third quarter. Snap pass on the left wing. Long 3, way off the mark. Rebound comes down, blocked away by Jones, and they outlet it to Rosado. Rosado gets it up and running. Here comes Toombs, Baker Toombs. Baseline, Toombs, left-hand floater, way too strong, and the rebound is knocked out. 3 ball, thought about it, and he took steps. Did Sean Ali.
Yeah, he definitely did too. I mean, he kind of set himself up for the shot. He had to take sort of a half a step to get there, and then he put the ball back on the floor. So an easy call there, and as Ali heads over to the bench now.
Sanchez enters, Ali takes a seat. 49-44. Chapman leaves it off. Frederick back to Chapman, down on the block. Byard double teamed, he hits a cutting. Down the middle, Lewis, and he's good. Or Jones, excuse me. So Jones cuts right down the middle, a nice assist by Byard.
Strong drive from Jones. That wasn't an easy catch. He had to catch it in traffic.
Rosado takes it strong, and Rosado gets a bucket. His first 2 points of the game.
He's been active, though. Already a steal and a deflection on defense, a nice assist a couple possessions ago, and now his first 2.
51-46, AC leads. Frederick, top of the key. Still a 2-3 zone by Pleasantville. Into the deep right corner, back up top. Thought about a 3, 2 dribbles in, and splash for Chapman.
Nice patience from Atlantic City working against that Pleasantville zone there. It took the Vikings a couple of possessions to get used to it, I should say. Chapman, he could have had a contested 3, but just that little pump fake freed him up for an open deep 2.
Tariq Chapman, he's got 7. 53-46. And Byard playing some defense out in the perimeter. They get it down low for Jones. They exploit the size problem. And Jones with a little baby basket. 15 for Jones.
And it's because Byard was playing defense up top, so there was really no large body in the middle. Jones had his way in the paint for the Ville.
Frederick between the circles, staring at a 2-3 zone, dribbles in, ball tipped into the corner. Chapman, ball high over his head, back to Frederick. Frederick between the circles, gets it to Byard. Byard, Chapman on the baseline, dribble drive, swatted away by Jones, and the rebound comes down to Jones, and it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Pleasantville. They trail 53-48 with 2:56 to go in the third quarter.
Atlantic City bench claiming that ball was last touched by Pleasantville. I think that's a situation where the referee could have easily called a foul too. Instead, just merely giving the ball back to Pleasantville instead of calling that foul.
Dribble drive all the way to the basket goes Sanchez, and he is fouled. He'll get to the line.
Jules Sanchez, he's been a spark plug, an energy guy off of the bench, and a guy who, quite frankly, played more minutes before these transfers became eligible. So that's always a tough adjustment. As now Gene Allen wants to talk things over, an early timeout here.
2:48 to play, third quarter. AC 53, Pleasantville 48. Battle by the Bay coverage on 97.3 ESPN.
Today's game brought to you by Blue Water Graphics. Need a sign? You need Captain Charlie. Captain Charlie uses Blue Water Graphics and Cape Signs to create signs for real estate and other businesses. They do construction site signs and window lettering for your business. They can also provide the lettering for your van, truck, car, or boat. You can reach Blue Water Graphics at 609-823-8891 and Cape Signs at 856-506-0610. Signs, banners, vehicles, windows, they can supply whatever lettering you need at Blue Water Graphics and Cape Signs. This game also brought to you with the best wishes of everyone at Calvi Electric in Atlantic City, who encourage you to get out and support your favorite high school team every week.
53-48. AC leads. They've led the entire game by as many as 13. Pleasantville has never led. 2:48 to play, third quarter. Jules Sanchez at the line. He's got 4. He can make this a 3-point game. Pleasantville cut it to 2 at 1 point.
It's been a different pace, certainly, in this third quarter, Mike. Yeah, not a lot of scoring. And the buzz is kind of gone, not gone from the crowd, but people getting back into their seats from halftime and whatnot. But you'd expect it to continually build up and get going once again here as we get ready to go to the fourth.
3-point game. He makes a pair, 53-50. Half 100 for both these teams. Trap. AC beats it. Pull-up jumper, altered by Jones. Byard get the rebound. Byard shot blocked away by Jones. Rebound comes down. AC has it. And another block by Jones. And Rosado with a baseball pass. And he just chucks it into center field.
Which is funny because had this been a baseball diamond, Rosado's a standout baseball player.
No question.
Maybe not with the basketball, though, for a pass that length. That was really to no one in particular. I mean, there was a player there, but it's sort of like a quarterback throwing into coverage, if we can sprinkle in yet another sport analogy here.
I had the pleasure of coaching Alejandro in baseball, and I'll tell you, he is one of the nicest and most heady kids. He's the kid that comes out and helps all the younger kids, even when he's playing varsity. He helps out the freshmen. He is a tremendous kid. And I said he's got to be a senior by now. I feel like he's been here. He's been playing on this program since his freshman year. And that's just because that's the kind of kid he is. Yeah. He was ready mentally at his freshman season. And Atlantic City on the fast break, and it's knocked away by Pleasantville. Sanchez with a steal. Atlantic City trying to get it back, and it's run down by Pleasantville. Toombs behind his back. Toombs going right of the lane. Toombs, a scoop shot, altered away by Byard, and Byard comes down with the rebound. And then it's thrown away by Jones, and Jones with a half a dunk, I guess.
Well, he had to wait for Byard to fly by almost. By that point, he kind of lost some of his balance, but still counts for 2 all the same.
A 1-point game all of a sudden, 53-52. It's the closest that Pleasantville has been virtually all game since the tip. We have a foul in the open court. Jaden Jones was fouled. .143 to play here in the third. AC with the ball, 53-52. They lead it. Chapman between the circles, and the pass, stepped in the passing lane is Jules Sanchez. He knocks it out of bounds.
Sanchez not afraid to tell anyone who wants to listen right now how excited he is. He was kind of in the face of Gene Allen a moment ago as the play was on that side. Now he knocks it out of bounds on the other side. Has a couple fiery words for the fans over there. It's all part of the atmosphere here at the Battle by the Bay.
AC inbounds. Dribble drive. Jones gets it knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with AC. 1:25 to play in the third.
It's been such a different feel here in this third. Obviously a one-point game, so in terms of how good a game it is, it's even better, but just completely different style.
Chapman inbounds, cross court. Byard, dribble drive into the corner. Jones for three. Down it goes. Jaden Jones double figures with 12 after the three. Every time Pleasantville gets close, AC hits a bucket. Toombs for three. It's strong and it's knocked out of bounds by AC. It'll stay with DeVille with 1:07 to play. And every time Pleasantville creeps up, AC holds them off.
Yeah, you just wonder how long they can do it. I mean, you know, Pleasantville is going to continue to come here.
McLaughlin long three, no good. Rebound ripped down. AC has it. You know what's interesting? You don't see often the two backcourts are both lefty shooters for Pleasantville. Into the corner for Chapman. Chapman goes baseline and a
quick turnover. Yeah, I guess that was a dunk. I mean, he had to go over Elijah Jones to get there. I think the ball kind of separated from his hand. It doesn't matter. It got the crowd fired up. But either way, I mean, Tariq Chapman showing off the big-time bounce.
baseline for Chapman. It counts for two, but the crowd feels like it's more, and it's now a 6-point game. And 39 seconds to go here in the third.
Yeah, I was going to say, excuse me, if the crowd was out of it, they're right back into it now after that.
Chapman splits defenders, bounce pass for Byard. Byard ball fake, and he's hammered down low by Elijah Jones.
Yeah, you can see some of the frustration on some of the players and coaches right now for the Greyhounds. Mike, you talked about it. I mean, they just keep trying to make that charge, that they keep punching, but Atlantic City always with that counter punch, right? I mean, Atlantic City has protected its lead throughout the entire afternoon so far, and now it continues to grow here in the late stages of the third.
Byard at the line, the senior. He leads the way with 14 for AAC.
You know, all that effort from Pleasantville to try to get, closer and maybe grab the lead, but it was a 5-point game at the half, and now it's a 7-point lead for Atlantic City after all that work from the Ville. It's a little deflating if you're Pleasantville.
Yeah, and you wonder how much that takes out of them as they continue to try to have to make a push. Under 20 seconds to go here in the third. Sanchez behind his back, splits defenders down the middle of the paint, and he loses the handle, and it's knocked out of bounds as he hits the deck hard.
Stephen Byard with the rejection. We've seen some plays above the rim today here, Mike. Some dunks, some blocks from both sides.
Inbound, Toombs, three, front rim, no good. Rebound, McLaughlin, and a put back. McLaughlin's been quiet. He can heat up at any time, Mike. We've seen him do it. And Byard, a bounce pass on the break, and he just misread his teammate and bounced it way out in front of him.
Yeah, classic example there of just an unforced error. Just didn't need to move that fast if you were Atlantic City, but they come right back up with the basketball and get two.
And a layup, yes, the two. I think that was Chapman with the steal off the inbound and the layup to give AC to push the lead back up to 61-50. Palms, excuse me, with that late layup. And he makes it 61-54 as we go to the final quarter here at the Battle by the Bay, Mike. And man, AC, it looked like Pleasantville was about to get there. They had a 1-point game and then a huge three that I think we'll be talking about if AC holds on.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and that final possession there, Mike, that's kind of a microcosm of the entire quarter. Pleasantville has a chance to maybe get a run out and get some points to beat the buzzer. Instead, they turn it over and give two easy ones right back to Atlantic City. So we talked about it. It was a 5-point game at the half. It felt like Pleasantville was at times in the lead there. They never were, but it's kind of felt that way. And now all of a sudden, the Greyhounds down by even more. Still very much in it, but down by 7 as we turn the page to the fourth.
Mike Gill, Mike Frankel, me almost out of voice.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, my friend. It's been a fun, busy weekend over here at the Battle by the Bay. had a chance to call the Elizabeth Sanford Delaware game with Matt Ulmer on Saturday afternoon. That was entertaining. Saw the Wildwood Catholic boys game last night, which was entertaining for most of the way until Seton Hall Prep pulled away. You know, Wildwood Catholic Atlantic City girls game yesterday was great. The game before this one, involving Chester of Pennsylvania coming away with the win, that was good. It's been fun, and this one in the finale usually does not disappoint, and it's not disappointing so far today.
Atlantic City will inbound the ball to start the fourth and final stanza. Here we go. AC dressed in white, moving left to right. Vikings across the front, they lead 61-54. Pleasantville defending wearing all black. Blakely into the game. Leaves it into the post, and it's stolen away, the first possession. So we're going to steal and a turnover. Toombs crosses the timeline. He's been pulling up from all over the place. And that one, he just wildly shoots up to the basket, overshoots the rim. And luckily, it comes into the hands of Jones, and he gets fouled, and the foul is going to be on Warren Palms.
You know, it's interesting. Pleasantville, you know, they've been able to get offensive rebounds off of some of these Issa Baker Toombs misses, and Baker Toombs has been quiet in the second half. He's had a hard time from the field, but I think, you know, his teammates know that he's a guy that likes to put the shots up, so as soon as he catches, get to the paint, get to the glass, and that's what Pleasantville's been able to do on a couple of these last misses from Issa Baker Toombs.
All of a sudden, Jones leads the way with 19 with the pair of free throws there. 5-point game, AC leads with the ball. Byard, baseball pass. Oh, and he gets it wide open layup as he hits Palms in stride. And he leads the way now with 15 points for AC with that layup.
It was like a Pat Mahomes 50-yard bomb to Tyreek Hill. Everything about that play was right on the money.
Jones leaves it for Toombs, who's double, almost triple teams. He gets it to Jones, and Jones with the left-hand layup is too strong. He tries to get the rebound, and it's tipped into the hands of Chapman. Then Chapman leaves it out in transition. Here come the Vikings, and it's a 3-on-1. Missed the layup dunk by Byard. Again, he didn't look like he knew what he wanted to do when he was in midair.
Right, I mean, these guys just get so caught up in the moment. We've seen those spectacular plays, but, you know, we've seen just as many missed dunks, missed easy points in a game like this, where it's going to come down to the wire, and now a block from Jones, and we go the other way.
Outlet pass, and Sanchez gets his shot blocked away. So Jules Sanchez will go to the line. The foul is going to be on Jaden Jones. And Rosado, who took about a 30-second break, will go right back in. Sanchez at the line, 63-56. Pleasantville trails. 7 points now for Sanchez as he makes the front end. Pleasantville's done a good job of hitting free throws. That's kept them around in this game because they have gone to the line exponentially more than Atlantic City has. They were 16 of 19 at the half, and AC was 4 for 5.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Issa Baker Toombs, just 10 of 11 by himself in that first half, and that's, you know, sometimes that's the total of the team for an entire game.
8 points as he makes the second. Sanchez does. We got a 5-point game. AC having some trouble inbounded. They get it to Byard. Byard going to take it up himself. Crosses the timeline. Goes baseline. Dumps a pass into Blakely. And Blakely is going to go to the line as he was almost flipped backwards on that.
Yeah, Blakely was rocked down there. You just wonder how, you know, Blakely, we talked about it off the top. In fact, we both thought he was out today. He's played sparingly. You can see him kind of bent over at the line, grabbing his knee, and, you know, a tough kid. Give him a lot of credit. It just seems like a situation where maybe under normal circumstances he wouldn't be out there, but he didn't want to miss this game today.
Blakely misses the free throw. Jones enters for Rosado.
You know, there's a difference between, you know, no offense to any other Cape Atlantic League team, but missing a game, say, against, I don't want to name names, but one of these other teams on a Wednesday night, and missing the Battle by the Bay game against Pleasantville.
Blakely's second one is good. He's got 2 points, both at the free throw line, 64-58. Trap, Jones, foul line. Gonzalez shot blocked away. Chapman with the block, and then the rebound comes down to Baker Toombs, and then he dribbles to the hoop. And it's tipped out of bounds. Off the inbound, Sanchez, 3, too strong. Rebound, Elijah Jones. Jones going to take it himself on the left block. Right-hand shot is good. 21 for Jones.
And a nice patient play there from Elijah, too. I mean, he wasn't in a hurry. In fact, he was looking for a teammate off of that offensive rebound, then realized he could kind of spin to his left and try to get a bucket himself.
(64-60). 6 minutes left to go in the game. Bounce pass down low. Byard off the glass. Good. Nice little bounce pass to the right block. 66-60. AC pushes the lead back to 6. Toombs gets some space and dribble drives to the basket, and he's fouled. He'll get to the line with 5:49 left to play in the game. Issa Baker Toombs will go to the line. He's got 18 points for Pleasantville.
Yeah, all coming in the first half, so it's been a struggle for him so far in the second half. And I believe this is his first trip to the line here in the second half, though. So, again, it's that old cliche. Sometimes you just need to see that ball go through the hoop once or twice, and has a chance to do that here at the stripe.
That free throw is a laser.
Yeah, just, you know, we talked about maybe it looks strange to us because he's left-handed, but it is sort of a different kind of release. I mean, you know.
No arc there.
The kid can get buckets, no doubt, but
missed them both, gets his own rebound, then it's blocked away, and Chapman comes down with the rebound. They outlet the pass to Blakely. Now Blakely's going to slow the pace up. Corner, 3, Chapman, too strong, rebound, put back good. Palms has 17 points for Atlantic City. McLaughlin gets it stripped by Palms. 3-on-2, AC transition, Palms, and good, it's fouled. 19 for Palms. He can make it 20 with a 3-point play, and the lead is pushed back to 10.
If you would have told me without looking down at the stat sheet that he has 19 points, Mike, I would have said you got to be wrong. But it's been a quiet 19, but at the same time allowed 19 because he's made all of the little big plays. You know, it sort of conflicts, it contradicts, right? But he's not jumping off the page with any dunks or any spectacular plays, but he's just been so steady. Just getting a basket when Atlantic City needs one, finishing on the break, some offensive rebounds too. Just an outstanding all-around game right now for Ron Palms.
Has a chance to push the lead back to 11. He misses the free throw, but he gets the rebound. He puts it up, it's blocked away by Jones. Byard with the rebound. Byard up, and he's fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Byard with a close call for an and one there. I think the roof would have blown off of this place if he was able to get an and one as well. And again, you know, you look up at the score, and all of a sudden it's Atlantic City up by 10. Just when Pleasantville was trying to creep back in, right back to double digits for AC.
AC was up 13 in the first half. Pleasantville has got it back to 1, and that's as close as they've been. They've never led in the game. First free throw attempt by Stefan Byard is no good. And Byard's second one rattles home. So Byard's got 18. Palms has 19. They're the leaders for the Vikings, and a steal. Chapman steals it away. Bounce pass. Jones gets it blocked. Palms with the rebound, and Palms with a putback. He's got 21 points for Atlantic City. Dribble drive, kick out, 3, short, rebound Palms. He's doing it all right now. Byard, one-on-one with the hoop, and Byard, he misses the layup, but Chapman gets the rebound, and he misses up short. And now if you're Pleasantville, you're down 13. He's got Toombs and McLaughlin. You're almost saying, guys, you got free reign to start chucking, because McLaughlin can get hot at any time.
As if they didn't have that free reign all day, right? But yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, there's still plenty of time in this game, but this is one of the larger deficits that Pleasantville has faced, certainly since the first quarter. So, you know, I would expect the threes to start firing, and also expect, you know, even more full court pressure to try to turn over Atlantic City a little bit more here.
Chapman, first free throw is good. Pushes the lead up to 14. That's a high for Atlantic City. Gonzalez walking off the floor.
Chapman, the 4th Viking in double digits today. I mean, we talked about the outstanding day from Palms and obviously Byard, but, you know, Jaden Jones and now Tariq Chapman. Great balance from this Viking squad.
Second free throw is good. Anthony Nunez, first time in the game for Pleasantville.
Secret weapon, maybe. Guy who can obviously score, and that's why he's inserted right now from head coach Butch Warner.
AC trying to turn up the defensive intensity. McLaughlin looking for some space for a three. And the entry pass is knocked out. Sanchez, corner, Nunez, shot blocked. He tried a three and it was blocked away by Chapman and then run down by Blakely. Palms crosses the timeline, leaves it up for Chapman. Chapman loses the handle out of bounds. It goes off of a Pleasantville defender and it'll stay with the Vikings with 4:22 left.
AC was on the break there and just never really had possession of the ball. I mean, every single player wasn't quite able to grab it there, and fortunate for the Vikings, they're able to maintain possession.
15-point Viking lead, 4:22 left to play here in the game. Blakely, dribble drive, almost lost the handle, then he throws it up and makes it. It goes down, 4 points for Blakely.
And all of a sudden, Mike, this one turning into a blowout. You wouldn't have thought it for most of the game, but 17 points.
Toombs too strong. Jones with the rebound. He loses the handle. It goes out of bounds, and AC gets it back with halfway done this fourth quarter. And Pleasantville's going to call timeout. 4:02 left to play. Pleasantville wants a full timeout. 77-60 AC over Pleasantville at the Battle by the Bay.
Are you hungry for melt in your mouth pot roast or meatloaf just like Mom used to make? Then after the game, head on over to the Egg Harbor Township Golden Corral. They've got all of your home-style favorites, from fried chicken and mashed potatoes to oven-fresh yeast rolls and a chocolate wonderfall that flows all day, every day. Plus, they have strip steak and shrimp on the menu weekends, with sirloin steak at dinner every day and a customizable burger bar at lunch. You'll find it all at Golden Corral, 6725 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, right in front of Boscov's. Or let Golden Corral cater your next tailgate party. Simply call them at 609-272-8171 and experience Golden Corral Catering today. This game also brought to you by Johnson's Popcorn on the boardwalk in Ocean City. It's known all over the Delaware Valley. Johnson's Popcorn specializing in the delicious caramel corn. You get Johnson's Popcorn in individual servings all the way up to 3.5-gallon tins. Look for them in your favorite food market or party store. Johnson's Popcorn, 1368 Boardwalk in Ocean City. Call them at 1-800-842-2676 and have your popcorn shipped to you. They're also online at johnsonspopcorn.com. Johnson's Popcorn since 1940.
Gonzalez returns for Pleasantville as Nunez had a quick run. 4:02 left, 77-60. AC leads Pleasantville.
You know, you'd expect maybe one more run here from Pleasantville. See if the Greyhounds can claw their way back here. And, you know, with a 17-point cushion for Atlantic City, it's going to be tough. But turnover here, Gene Allen not happy about it.
Yeah, they're going to get palms for turning the ball over. We got Gene Allen, Butch Warner, and two officials at half court.
Now we got the coaches on the wrong side of the floor. Trying to get everybody straight down there.
Rick Lipford decided it's a 17-point game. I'm not changing this call right now.
No.
It appeared that Gene had a point.
Yeah, I think that probably for the best, though, for everyone.
McLaughlin's three is way off the mark. Air ball, and AC gets it right back anyway.
We talked about it, Mike. You know, it just takes so much effort to continually try and get over that hump, right? If you're Pleasantville, you expend all that energy just trying to grab the lead. You can't quite get there, and now you would expect Atlantic City to go on a run, and they have in a big way.
Steal. Pleasantville with the ball. Toombs all the way to the basket. Layup is good. Beats up Baker Toombs, 20.
First two of the second half, though. He got all 18 before that in the first half.
77-62, AC leads with the ball. 3:29 to play in the game. Countdown to kickoff Super Bowl special is coming up right after us.
A few fans heading for the exits, sensing this one might be decided. Byard, plenty of time on the clock, though.
Yeah, Byard catches the inbound. And a foul.
Might be one of those classic situations, Mike, where, you know, someone who didn't listen to the game or wasn't at the game might pick up a paper or see online that, hey, you know, this was a one-sided game. It really wasn't. Atlantic City has just kind of taken over here down the stretch in the fourth.
We got a traveling violation on Frederick.
I say the fourth, but it was really the later stages of the third, right? I mean, you know, Pleasantville had cut it to one, and then Atlantic City closed out the quarter strong and just kept it rolling here into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it felt like, and Toombs turns it over, and then he fouls right after the turnover, probably a frustration foul, but it felt like Pleasantville had the momentum and had the one-point game, and you were just waiting for them to get over that hump, and then there was that three-point shot that AC hit when there was a one-point game, and AC's never really looked back.
Yeah, I believe that was Chapman, right, on that shot from the far corner, and a couple spectacular plays since.
Either Chapman or Jones, one of those two.
Yeah, I mean, it's interchangeable parts almost, right? I mean, we talked about having four players in double digits, and you know, Byard is no doubt Atlantic City's best player, but on any given night, some of these other guys can step up and put big days together. Certainly Palm's having an outstanding game today. It's hard to describe it. You know, it's been a quiet 21 points, but at the same time, it's been an important 21 points, obviously, because he's gotten those in-between buckets where a guy like Byard has gone a little cold, or Chapman or Frederick, and Palms, has just been steady really the entire day.
Well, AC missed the front of the 1-and-1. There was some confusion on that because nobody moved, and Gonzalez goes right to the 10. He misses the layup, and you can see Gonzalez has been visibly frustrated when he left the game, and now he's even in the game with that miss there. He just seems very frustrated.
Yeah, and it's just very evident by the body language. The Greyhounds just flat out of gas right now.
Back the other way. Nice ball fake. Look off, and Byard gets a layup. 20 points for Byard. 79-62 AC.
No quit, obviously, in Pleasantville. They're going to play this thing out, but this is very much decided. Atlantic City just with steal after steal right now, including one right here.
Yeah, in Pleasantville. Did you mention right there in a layup by Palms, who's now got 23 points. And it looks like Butch Warner is seeing his body language from his team and deciding, I'm going to get some guys in who have not played much today. But, you know, you mentioned it, Pleasantville out of gas, and this seems to be the issue when they're going up against a team and to step up in talent. They have the talent to go toe-to-toe. They can't get over the top, and they seem gassed. By about midway through that third is when it hit them in the Wildwood Catholic game, and it's hitting them again today.
Yeah, I mean, you know, keep in mind that Pleasantville won this game last year, Mike. We talked about it off the top. We really haven't talked about it much since. And I think, you know, obviously a loss hurts, but, you know, if you're Atlantic City, it's a matchup that you've owned. You haven't lost this game before last year since what, like 2007, 2008. So that had to be a motivating factor, you know, maybe not before the season, but certainly this week and over the weekend for Gene Allen and his group saying, hey, you know, we own this matchup. They took it from us last year. Let's take it back. And Atlantic City has played like that, certainly in the second half.
Well, you know, this is the game, Mike, in past years, if you ever talked to Gene, and he has typically had the more talented team and the favored team as Byard goes baseline with a reverse layup, 22 points. He hated playing this game because he had nothing to gain by winning. They're the Group 4 school against the Group 2 school. They should win, and if they lose, it looks terrible for Atlantic City. And then last year they do lose the game, and it's nothing to slight Pleasantville. They're the smaller school. Atlantic City is the bigger school, and both of these schools have a dearth of talent in the building. But Atlantic City is supposed to win this game. It's one of the reasons why Gene typically doesn't like playing this game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and obviously it's always home court advantage for Atlantic City. I mean, you go back a few years when Atlantic City didn't have a home gym. The game was played at Stockton, so that was more of a neutral site. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, but what is gained, and I think what Gene obviously understands is the community feel from this game. It's one of those deals where some of the people in the stands today, they probably won't see another game the rest of the year. They probably haven't been to a game before this, but they come out for this homecoming type feel on this Pleasantville Atlantic City Battle by the Bay Sunday. And, you know, if the game's on the schedule and you're Gene Allen, you take it seriously, and he doesn't overlook anyone. And, you know, it's been a point of pride, certainly for some of the kids that have come through here. You look around the stands, and you and I were noticing some of the former Atlantic City and Pleasantville players that come back for this one. And, you know, those are kids that can say, hey, you know, we got them this year, or we got them that year, or I had 20 this year in front of this sold-out crowd. So there's certainly memories to be made here.
Two AC kids, by the way, with 20 today. And Gonzalez at the line. Makes the first one.
fan behind us holding up a $100 bill and cheering. So, you know, I guess we won't condone the side action on a game like this, but everyone out there knows that tends to happen with games of this magnitude. Usually don't flaunt it like that, but again, you see a little bit of everything here Sunday at the Battle by the Bay.
We've got Countdown to Kickoff live from Screwballs in King of Prussia. Coming up next, the guys are patiently waiting for the end of this one. Joe Kraus, Luigi Cuerto, John McMullen, Tony Bruno will be checking in live from Miami for the final show for Countdown to Kickoff. It's been a great show all year. Tony Bruno and company. Now Tony's down in Miami, so Joe's going to jump in for Tony, but we're looking forward to the Countdown to Kickoff coverage, taking you to Super Bowl 54, the big game today on 97.3 ESPN. Andy Reid going up against Kyle Shanahan's 49ers, Chiefs 49ers here, coming up on 97.3 ESPN right after the Countdown to Kickoff show. Long three, short, front rim.
Who you got, by the way?
I'm going Niners, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate to do it. I want to see Andy win one. I feel that he's underappreciated by Eagle fans. And but I've been on that Niners team all year long. Their defense, I love defense. And I think defense wins championships, and they'll be rewarded for it. You know, all the teams with defense have won. Tampa beat Oakland. Baltimore beat the Giants. All the defensive first teams have won. But people forget, Mike, San Francisco is the second highest scoring team in the league.
Yep. You know, it's been interesting this week, and you probably have a different perspective because you were in Miami, the epicenter of it all. But the Super Bowl here in the Northeast has really taken a back seat, obviously, with the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant. And, you know, you would never think anything in the sports world would overtake Super Bowl week, but in every way, shape, and form, that story has. And, you know, it was probably different down there where you were, but I think it's just this weekend, yesterday, and obviously today, that people are really getting excited for the Super Bowl.
You're right. I mean, down in Miami, it did change a little bit. Right around Wednesday, you kind of felt like Super Bowl was there. Thursday, Friday, it was definitive. I mean, that town was pumping. Friday really was bad. I mean, the traffic down there is bad in the 305 anyway, but it was really bad on Friday. We almost missed our flight getting out of there.
You're talking worse than trying to get down to Margate and Shore Points in the summertime, or what?
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 lanes of it.
Yeah.
You know, 1 lane to go to Margate, 3 to go to get out of South Beach. AC's going to win this. They lead by 22, but the game was close. A point separated these two schools that are separated by about 4 miles.
It's kind of like the Wildwood Catholic game last night. I mean, Catholic ended up losing that game to Seton Hall Prep by 20, but they were down as Noel Gonzalez jacks up a 3, turns around before it even goes in, and it goes in anyway. But Wildwood Catholic was down, you know, 1 or 2 at multiple points in that third quarter. Very similar feel to this one. Pleasantville was right in this thing, and then all of a sudden AC blows the doors off.
Yeah, Gonzalez, we've talked about, he seems visibly frustrated. He shot the ball almost in a way of defiance, almost.
I mean, it went in, and he didn't even see it go in. But, you know,
AC's going to win it 89-68, unless Pleasantville gets a late bucket here, and there's a whistle as Gonzalez went for 3. It was off the mark. And the Vikings will improve to 14-4. Pleasantville falls to 8-10 on the season. The Battle by the Bay returns to Atlantic City. The Vikings win it 91-68 as a late bucket by AC gets them over 90. And Pleasantville will walk away having to remember an AC late bucket here at the Battle by the Bay. It's in the books, Mike. Another year, AC wins it. It was close. The score will not indicate that, but what an entertaining game.
Yeah, no doubt. And a key win for Atlantic City. Atlantic City, quite frankly, needed this one a little bit more, Mike, coming off of that loss to St. Augustine on Friday night. Remember, Pleasantville won its game here at the Battle by the Bay on Friday night over Constitution High School, but just such an even performance from Atlantic City. 4 guys we talked about in double digits. Horan Palms leading the way with 23. Stephen Byer, the big game with 22. You know, you had Chapman with 11. Jaden Jones with 12. Frederick even had some nice plays at 5 points, so really a strong effort across the board. Issa Baker-Toombs, 20 points for Pleasantville, but really cold in the second half. Elijah Jones, big double-double, 19 points in the scoring column.
That'll do it from AC. Matt Ulmer on the video. Prime Events on the stats. Mike Frankel providing the color. And I hope you enjoyed the play-by-play. I'm Mike Gill. Coming up next, it's the Countdown to Kickoff show. Joe Kraus, John McMullen, Luigi Curto, live from Screwballs in King of Prussia. They will get you ready for the big game. And that's coming up right now on 97.3 ESPN. Have a great Super Bowl Sunday, everybody.